This episode is sponsored by UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics. UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics is proud to support youth sports across our region and proud to sponsor the 2023 high school football preview on the Altoona Mirror YouTube channel. To learn more about their board-certified orthopedic surgeons and the wide range of orthopedic conditions they treat, or to schedule an appointment in one of their facilities in Hollidaysburg or Bedford, visit upmcaltoona.com/ortho or call 814-889-3600.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Week 5 of the High School Football Show here on Mirror TV on YouTube. And again, we didn't have Mike Boydham. He's loved his vacation in Mexico. We're stuck again with Guru X, but I just wish Mike would be.
Okay, Guru X.
Wow. Mike is back.
Thank you for your help.
Oh,
no.
Guru
It's time
X.
to go back to Mexico. I got the zip lines ready for you.
You've been demoted. I'm sorry to see you go.
Mexico.
Oh, man.
Hey, you wanted Mike back.
I did want Mike back.
Yeah.
Now we know where Mike is.
Now we know where Mike is. Mike is here.
Yeah.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Week 5, the real opener here for the Altoona Mirror Football Show on YouTube TV. And brand new now, we became so popular that people sought us out. And through the work of the people who run Public Access and Neil Rudell, our agent / boss, we are now on Public Access TV on Breezeline on Channel 14, I believe it is. It'll be on Wednesdays at 5:30, so you'll be able to watch that there. You YouTube people on the internet, we love you too. Keep watching us there. We like that. And also, our guru, the real guru, Mike Boydham, is back from a well-rested and well-enjoyed vacation by him. And Andy's feeling better too because Mike's back.
That's right.
And also, before we get into our games, we got stuff. Also, real quick, we got a little football tee there that I got from my wife at home, actually. It was a toy of my kids years ago, so we actually Mike got a football to stay up on it. Andy and I couldn't get the football to stay up on it. So if you want to send us in little footballs, we'll take them.
Yeah.
But anyways, this comes to us from Brad Coons from Bedford. He's a big fan of it. He sent us, this is really nice. I don't know if Dan can zoom in on that. It's a refrigerator magnet, and actually, Andy and I want to ask for a refrigerator. So if somebody wants to send us a mini fridge that we could keep on the table, and then we would take it off the table.
Now, is it going to be loaded? Is there going to be
Well, we would have soda, Pepsi Zero. Mike likes Diet Mountain Dew, I think.
No.
Andy will drink whatever's in there.
Diet Pepsi.
And then we would put it off to the side so that the people that use this. But yeah, I think what a nice, somebody out there must have a mini fridge that they're not using.
I'm sure.
That we could, you know.
I sold mine from
But anyways, there. So anyways,
Yeah,
Mike's got more about
Bedford this week has got Chestnut Ridge, big rivalry game, and this year there might be a little bit more intensity in that rivalry than other years because there's some transfer stuff going on. Some players that maybe left Bedford went to Chestnut Ridge. They're not eligible. They had some eligibility meetings, and I just think that you can throw the records out this Friday in that game. There's going to be some intense moments, I think, during that one.
So, again, thanks to Brad Koontz. I mean, he mailed it in. He paid for the postage and everything.
Yeah.
But it's really nice if we get some local people to mail us some stuff from Blair County. That would be nice.
Great.
Speaking of Blair County schools, right off the bat, Mike's got a list of good games. Central Dauphin East 2-2 at Altoona 2-2. What do we know about CD East?
Well, their quarterback, who played against Altoona last year and did well in the second half of that game, is back this year. And Coach Niedermeyer said he noticed that he was able to make quick decisions last year and kind of make plays on the go, and that's what they're concerned about. And hey, Altoona needs to cut back the big plays, because that is what killed them against State College. If they make a team drive down the field, they can be a tough team, but you can't spend the whole first quarter driving down the field, getting a touchdown, and then you just give up a touchdown in one play. That's just deflating. It's not going to work, and they need to be cutting back on allowing these big plays.
How hard is it? Have you ever been in a game you're coming off a 49-7 loss, and now you got to get ready for the next game? Is that going to be hard for them? How hard is that?
Well, I think they're probably going to be excited to play again on Friday night, just because they're going to want to forget about that game. Maybe you don't even watch the film from that game. It's hard to say. Maybe it's just throw away and move on. So yeah, I expect Altoona to play much better though on Friday.
And incidentally, I covered that game last year for us down there at Central Dauphin East. They had a kid that ended up going to Nebraska playing for Matt Rule, big lineman, number 55. I wish I would remember his name. Our next game we want to get to, which is weird to say week 5 in this game, Bellwood Annis 0-4 at Tyrone 1-3. If this game had a name for it, the What Happened Bowl.
Yeah.
What do you expect from this game, Michael?
Well, hopefully for both of these teams, it's kind of like the first game of the year, and it can be a reset, because it's been a rough start for both Tyrone and Bellwood. They can look at this as, hey, that we're starting our season over again. Tyrone is hosting the game. I know that I tried to call Coach Franco Sunday night to talk to him about this game, and he was watching film at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he said he'd call me after he was done watching film, and he texted me at midnight and said he was still watching film and it would have to wait. So, obviously they're putting a lot of time into this. This is still a big game. It can still make or break both Bellwood or Tyrone's season. I mean, when you look at your goals for the beginning of the year for these teams, beat Bellwood is always on Tyrone's, and beat Tyrone is always on Bellwood. So
when you were at the Tyrone paper, I mean, you dealt a lot more with Bellwood than you did Tyrone, right? But you still had some. I mean, did you ever thought in your wildest imagination you'd have an 0-4 Bellwood team playing a 1-3 Tyrone team?
It's weird. It reminds you a lot of the COVID year when they played that year. That was basically a bowl game kind of situation for them. I like what Mike said too about this being like kind of a reset, because I know Nick Loveridge used to say this is kind of a springboard for the rest of the season. I'm sure John feels the same way too. So, but yeah, both teams. Could use a win right now.
Speaking of a bowl game type thing, our next game, I mean, this is a game I wish I was going to. I'm in the office on Fridays, and I love that. But if I could go to a game, Bishop Guilford 3-1 at Central 4-0. Last year, that was the big game at Mansion Park that Central held on to the end. And, I mean, BG, can they knock them off? Is BG ready to play a 4-0 Central team?
Well, I actually picked BG to win this game. I think Central people are going to start coming after me pretty soon.
Well, I picked Central so the BG people could it'll be evened up and everything. Mike and I will both be equally threatened with death, probably.
But I just think that BG has played really well since their game against Bald Eagle Area to start the season, and that these young guys are really coming together. Now, it's just really tough for me. I mean, I think Central is putting up these eye-popping numbers. We'll get to a stat of the week later that involves a Central kid, but I'll tell you what, Hunter Smith is just a. I guess they say a dog.
He is a dude.
He's a dude.
And you got these kids that are coming in, and they haven't missed a beat, and I just am interested to see if they can keep it up against a really good team like BG, and we'll find out.
If you're Central's coach, you haven't been tested. I mean, they're going to say maybe a little bit with Tyrone. That game was maybe good one quarter.
Right.
But they have not been. Are you worried if you're the coach, if you're Dave Baker, are you worried that you're playing a BG team and you pretty much rolled over your 4 opponents?
Absolutely. I mean, I would say BG is by far their best team that they've played so far this year. So, yeah, I guess that would probably be a little bit concerning. But, I think the Central, they need to just keep doing what they've been doing all season. I mean, regardless of their opponent, they're still 4-0.
Speaking of another bowl game atmosphere, I'm not sure who got this game. Berlin Brothersvalley 4-0 at Northern Bedford 4-0. Gary Black, coach Northern Bedford, friend of the show. We love Gary. How difficult a job is this going to be for him this week?
Well, that's our agent, Neil Rudell, has got that game.
There you go, managing editor. Look, he's not just a managing editor and a Penn State nitwit. He's a high school football writer.
This is a huge game, and they actually haven't played since 2015. Both teams are undefeated. Pace Prosser is a really good quarterback for Berlin. They're a throw-first team. Northern Bedford, they're working on getting to the throwing, but they've been kind of doing it out of necessity because Adam Johnson's been hurt. But Adam Johnson's really turned a corner last week. He got back into the game. They took it easy on him a little bit, but Gary Black likes the way he's going, and he could really get back into it this week. And it'll be interesting to see because this is one of the couple big tests Northern Bedford has this season. This is the kind of game that's going to get them ready if they do have to play Steelton Highspire in the state playoff.
How much does it matter that this game is at home for them? If they had to go to Berlin. I mean, I took Northern Bedford because they're home.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much of a ride that is from Northern Bedford to Berlin, but hey, I'd much rather play at home for sure. But that wouldn't be an easy ride, and maybe that makes a little bit of a difference for Northern Bedford this week.
Another game here that Michael just pointed out to me that I glanced over. Penn Cambria 3-1, which not too surprising to me, but at Central Cambria 3-1. Good for the Red Devils because I'm trying to remember the last time they were 3-1. How do you like their chances against Penn Cambria?
Well, they've had a really strong defense so far this year. I think they've only scored about 52 points or so like that, but they have won the tough games. They beat McCourt Carroll 15-10. I think they beat Bedford 12-7, something like that. They've grinded some wins out here, and it'll be interesting to see if they're able to do that in this game. This is actually a big rivalry game. They play for a goalpost trophy. So there's going to be a lot of excitement up the mountain for this one. And a couple of years ago, it actually came down to a late 2-point conversion that started this 3-game winning streak for Penn Cambria that they're on right now. Central Cambria would like to get the momentum going back the other way, maybe with a close win at the end here.
And I said Central Cambria being surprising, but I guess there are some people that probably didn't think Penn Cambria might be 3-1 because Garrett Harold went off to college and everything to play football. But, I mean, Coach Felix, that's his staff. They're 3-1. They had some nice wins.
Yeah, very nice wins for Penn Cambria. And I think it's kind of like what Mike was saying about with Bedford and Chestnut Ridge, it being a rival game. I think you can kind of throw the records out again. So, I think I did pick Penn Cambria, but hey, Central Cambria, they've matched their win total already from last year. So, hey,
good
nice season so far.
Yeah. In our last game here, we're going to talk about real quick Fort Hill, Maryland, 3-0 at Hollidaysburg, 2-1. I'm told by very reliable sources in my house that Fort Hill has an offensive lineman that's being recruited by, I think, West Virginia and Maryland. He was a 10th grader playing when my sons were seniors. And at Fort Hill, like Mike has a great stat about how many championship games or something they played in down there. This is a really good, and they run the ball all the time.
Yeah, I talked to Homer Delatre about this game, and he gave me a crazy stat that they've won like 8 state titles in 10 seasons. I mean, this is a powerhouse program, and he told me the other big problem that Hollidaysburg has always had with them is they've allowed like 10 yards of rush every time they play them.
Lots of misdirection stuff.
And they've only been able to average about 2 yards of rush themselves. So turning that number around is going to be the key for the Tigers to compete in this one.
And the thing I want to ask you is I'm reading some of Mike's notes. Fort Hill didn't play last week. They got a forfeit. because the team they were playing didn't have enough healthy players. So is that an advantage at all that Hollidaysburg gets a team that's been off? I mean, we thought that might be for Altoona State College. It didn't end up like that.
Yeah, I mean,
can Hollidaysburg maybe hang their hat on that to keep them not being nervous or scared of this team?
Right. I know with high school kids, high school, especially like football players of all ages, they like routines. So, I would like to think that it might do some good that Hollidaysburg did play a game last week and Fort Hill didn't. I know this is going to be an uphill battle for Hollidaysburg, but hey, it's do what you can. I mean, it's you have nothing to lose in this game.
And they're coming off a win, so.
Yeah.
And let's go first part of the fun stuff, Mike's stat of the week. Mike, what stat of the week did you come up with that's not involved your 2 weeks in Mexico on vacation?
Hey, I had to come back because there happens to be a big game this Sunday night.
Oh, not high school football. Raiders versus Steelers.
Here we go.
Okay.
Anyway, I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but Hunter Smith is having an excellent season for Central this year. He has already scored 82 points. He has 10 touchdowns and he's kicked 22 extra points. His 82 points are 40 more points than the next closest kid from the Mears coverage area. Braun Mosley has scored 42 points. So Hunter Smith, 40 more points than the next closest kid. Very impressive.
And we called him a dude. When he was in 7th grade, Mike loves junior football. He started on the 9th grade football team as a 7th grader, and he was better than a lot of the 9th graders on both sides of the ball. That's how good this kid. It's because his mom was an athlete there. His dad was a pretty good athlete too, but
You're just saying that
because
they sent us his jersey.
But his mom was an athlete. She was in Monty. His dad was a pretty good athlete too. I'm old enough to remember Monty. Speaking of old, your line of the week. What is the line of the week, Andrew?
Set! Short steps. Short steps are better than long steps.
All right, Bishop Guilfoyle, you were my line of the week. Let's see, you had 535 total yards last week in that win over Huntington, 318 on the ground. Left tackle, Joe Eckenrode. Left guard, Connor McElhaney. Center, Carter Sheehan. Right guard, Ryan Hostler. Right tackle, Noah Keller. And tight end, Jacob Kissel. A note on the Hostler kid. I like this nickname. He has a nickname, Tank. But he had an interception on Friday, and he was also named the homecoming king.
You like it when the big guys get picks, like in the Altoona game.
Well, I like when the big guys get the homecoming. That's awesome. Good for that kid.
And then now, at least my favorite part of the show, the cool name segment.
I wanna know what's the name of the game.
And we're going to go real quick because hopefully the old people watching, Phillipsburg Osceola has a junior kicker on their team named Carson Long. Now, Carson Long doesn't sound like it, but I think it was the late 70s, early 80s, Penn State had a kicker named Carson Long. And I would love to know that those parents named him because they're Penn State football fans, named their kid Carson Long. I just think that's cool. And our second name is a Juniata Valley kid who's a Williamsburg because of the co-op. Right? He's a sophomore running back. His name is Aaron O. And we know Dan cannot spell that wrong because it's literally O.
Yeah.
And Andy and I are hoping for headline opportunities down the road when Aaron O starts scoring touchdowns for Juniata Valley. But there you go, Carson Long and Aaron O. We can say, oh my, when we see those names. But before we say goodbye and everything, we do want to get serious for a moment. Andy's going to tell us about a football player from Jersey Shore that was injured in a game last week, and it did not have a happy ending.
Yeah, Jersey Shore football player Max Engel was his name. Passed away on Saturday, I believe it was. Jersey Shore actually postponed their game
Friday night
and played it last night. They got a big win, but
Monday night they beat Chickalem.
Yeah. Very sad for that kid. We just all want to send the best to that kid's family and friends. Thinking about the Jersey Shore community.
Keep that family and your parents, because like we said last week, we like to try to have fun on this show and talk about football, but stuff like that happens sometimes, and we had the kid from Carn City who we understand is doing better and everything, so keep those families in your prayers. Again, don't forget Public Access TV, Wednesdays, 5:30 on Channel 14, but also we love our YouTube fans on the internet that have made us a part of their watching each week. So for Mike Boydum, for Andy Stein, for Dan Eisenberg behind the camera, I'm Scott Franco. We will see you next week.